Hello everybody, today we're gonna look at how many people died as a result of capitalism. We always hear that capitalism is the best possible system. We often hear
Communists killed 70 million people in China, more than 20 million people in the Soviet Union, not including about 5 million Ukrainians.
and if you search for it, you will find people on the left claiming that capitalism kills more people than that. So we're going to have a look at the real facts and come to our own conclusion. In this video, we will look at how many deaths capitalism caused, and in the follow-up video, we will examine how many deaths communism has caused. Before we can really see how many people die because of capitalism, we have to define what it is. The Oxford English Dictionary says capitalism is an economic system in which a country's business and industry are controlled and run for profit by private owners rather than by the government. This can be summed up as the private ownership of industry and land, as well as the institution of the free market. Yes, I know it doesn't specifically mention the free market, but literally everyone is going to tell you that the free market is required for capitalism. So, using this definition, capitalism exists in every country on earth except like North Korea. So, we will treat it as a global system. All of us know that where there is profit, people work, and where there is no profit, they don't. That's a very basic feature of the free market. Only work if you can make a profit of it. If, for example, a lot of people need water, someone would set up shop and supply them with the water they need in exchange for money. And that's how it's supposed to work, and that's how it usually works. But not always. Sometimes the people who need water have no money. Other times they will be competing with richer people who need the water to shower or like flush the toilet or whatever. And since the person distributing the water will follow the law of the free market, he will sell the water to the rich people who offer more money. This will lead to the people who need it having no water and the people who need it to flush the toilets having the water. Of course, ideally someone else will set up shop and give water to those without, but in reality that doesn't always happen, which is due to the fact that it's more profitable to take a fraction of the profit in a rich area than to completely supply a poor area. So if someone dies because the one who own and distribute the water have no incentive, or an incentive that is too small, that would then be a death that can legitimately be blamed on the free market and therefore capitalism, since the only way capitalism supplies people with goods is the free market. Now let's look at some numbers. How many people actually die because of the free market? An interesting one is that it's estimated that Earth produces enough food for 10 billion people each year, while there are only 7.5 billion people on Earth. Yet 1 in 8 people, quote, lack the food to live a healthy life, end quote. This obviously isn't the problem of production, but of distribution. The food gets produced, but it's not profitable enough to send it to the poor regions in Africa, so they don't do it, and that leads to hunger, starvation, and death. I think it's fair to attribute those deaths to capitalism, since hypothetically, if we had a magic system that gives everyone the same amount of food, everyone would be obese and nobody would have to starve. I'm not saying that this would be the perfect system, but this thought experiment shows that those deaths are very much the fault of the free market. So now that we know this, let's look at the real numbers. We begin with the obvious question: how many people starve each year? I've looked at multiple sources and most say that over 9 million people are expected to starve each year. This number is increasing as the effects of climate change increase. Furthermore, 820 million people lack the food to live a healthy life, as I mentioned before. Next, let's look at the people who die from a lack of water treatment. It's about 3.5 million people annually who have to die because it's too expensive for the free market to supply them with clean water. Another 3 million people die of preventable diseases because they lack healthcare, which could be supplied, but not for free, so the market doesn't do it, just like with water and food. So we are at 15.5 million people each year. Since the year 2000, that's almost 300 million people who had to die because the free market doesn't care for them. That's the Holocaust times 50, in case you were wondering. Obviously, this is way more than you and I expected, so I checked the numbers, but it's true. That's how many died because the free market either could not or would not support them. That sure makes you think, doesn't it? Remember, we didn't just take random things and blame capitalism. I only counted deaths that could be averted in an alternative, albeit imaginary, economic system. Starvation, dehydration, and lack of vaccination can be solved, just not for free, and thus not by the free market. So, I guess that means, hypothetically, if someone says they support capitalism, they will have to explain how they justify those deaths. Capitalism sure has created many things, like iPhones, cars, banks, billionaires, advertisements, endless wars, air travel, computers, wealth inequality, roads, highways, cities, mass starvation, and plenty of very, very, very pretty buildings for the wealthy. But, in the end, we have to ask ourselves if that justifies 15.5 million lives each year. I think it's strange that there is no conversation on this. Surely everyone should know that the system we use causes so much death. I guess that opens the question on why we never talk about the deaths caused by our own economic system, but only the past ones like communism and feudalism. Feel free to tell me your explanation in the comments. If you want to see my video on the death toll of communism, click on the video on screen. If there is none there, subscribe so you won't miss it when I upload it. Thanks for watching. See ya.